Three, two, and one. Hello and welcome to another FOV review. We're coming at you with Chapter 3, Guidance. I'm your main host, Enclave, joined with Afterglow.
Also the main host. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, it's a little bit back to back. Rest in peace, Wolfie. Man still hasn't returned yet. Probably died from this awful, fanfic. I say awful now because as I'm giving it another listen, more and more just doesn't make any sense, and it feels like K-Cat just stole everything from Fallout 3, at least as we're going back to Chapter 3. So, a little bit of a rundown real quick and we'll do a little dive. But basically, it leaves off from Chapter 2. Little Pip wakes up and she's in the Carousel Boutique, so there's your little fan service right there. She wakes up and then she notices that the bed she was sleeping in was all stained. She doesn't really go into detail what kind of stains they were. And there were dead cats on the ceiling, so that's also pretty good. And yeah, she begins the fight with the raiders. How much does she have? I think she only has a shotgun with two rounds of ammunition, and then a raider threw something at her, and then she's like, water balloons. I remember last time someone threw something at me and it exploded. I don't want to get anything thrown at me. So it just basically action-packed scene right here. She's in combat with the Raiders. Afterglow, you want to throw in anything before I keep going?
Yeah, we need to back this train up
Okay.
because if
Uh-huh.
you remember, this is where we get introduced to mines, and the explanation Pip comes up with is the mine wasn't there when she went to bed. So a fiend did a little funny and snuck in there and placed a mine while she was asleep. And obviously that leads to the question: if he's a fucking sleep, why not just blow her head off if you sneak in there?
You know, I never thought about that. I thought she just didn't step on it or didn't see it, like she went from another direction. But yeah, yeah, that is a good one, huh? And are these
Yeah, it's
based off
almost like
of?
there's plot holes in every chapter.
Oh man, so are these raiders based off of the fiends, or is this another generic raider group that's just overly gore filled and expletives always and blood and this and that?
They're just generic raiders. If this was a game, they would just be tagged as a raider as their name.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just that's this is gonna be a common trope, I think, for raider groups. Sadly, their culture from the first two games were completely erased, and now they're just a bunch of homicidal maniacs that are constantly high on jet or whatever other chem. Uh, unlike in the first two games, as well as I believe in Fallout New Vegas, they have the fiends, of course. They have the jackals, which I believe were a part of a group in the first and second game, but since the main character, you destroy their groups, so they're a shadow of themselves. Or was it the jackals? Or I think it was the vipers. It was one or the other. But I remember vipers were cut out in the
Viper
first game.
Gunslingers.
Yeah, there you go. So the vipers were cut out of the first Fallout game. They didn't have enough time because originally there was going to be three uh, main groups of raiders. It was going to be the Khans, and then the Jackals, and then it was going to be the Vipers. They all came from no other place but from Vault 13, because everything just comes from Vault 13. First antagonist, the first protagonist, it's just everything. Anyways, I'm getting too far carry out over here. Maybe I said a couple wrong things there. Sorry if I did. But yeah, that's just one thing I don't like about Raiders in Fallout Equestria. Like we had such an opportunity to give these like first antagonists some type of character besides, oh, I'm a homicidal maniac. That's just cutting up ponies and this and that. But that's just wasted immediately. After that, she rushes out of the boutique after killing a couple raiders by throwing their grenades back. I wish that was a mechanic in the actual Fallout game. I don't think it is. Is it? I've never encountered that. The only game I ever encountered throwing the grenades back was Call of Duty. I know Rainbow Six used to do that, but then they just took it out because hardly anyone threw the damn grenade back and they just got blown up. So But again, going off on a tangent. She leaves the boutique, runs into Watcher. Totally not anyone that's going to be very important later on. You want to cut in there, Afterglow, or am I still good to go?
Why does Watcher give a shit about her? Like, it's just some random ass mare to him. She's done nothing.
That's
I
true.
don't really know his motivation.
That is true. Isn't it implied that he was like in the second chapter, like he was the sprite bot that came out at night and like scared the slaver?
Well, it is very convenient that all the sprite bots in the wasteland that he could tap into, he happens to continuously tap into where is nearby somehow, and
Mm,
perfectly find her at the right time.
hmm So this is basically like the chosen one, the Mary Sue, but not fun.
When is Mary Sue's fun?
I mean, if you're gonna make an overpowered character, you should make him more towards like, give him all that OP stuff like towards the mid to end portion, or like make them very important
One
towards the
Punch
mid to
Mare?
end. Over what?
One Punch Mare?
Yes, One Punch Mare. I mean, wouldn't it be completely fucking wacky? I know we're going a little off topic here, but we have a Fallout Equestria story because it has been done before, and we're focusing on this one character this entire fucking time. First like couple chapters, and then like on the mid to end of like let's say the fourth or fifth fucking chapter, they fucking die, and then we actually meet the real main character, someone who's actually lived in the wasteland and like developed those survival skills so like they can actually survive outside rather than just automatically going in there and being like, yeah, I'm the chosen one, we're gonna win, we're not gonna die, etc., etc.
Man, I wish Little Pip would fucking die. I hate that bitch. She's
Damn.
smelly.
All right, I'm gonna
She
tone
got a
it.
crusty cunt.
Hey, she's not a Pegasus or blue. Well, I'm gonna tone it down then on the negativity. Let me go a little bit more neutral because I'm pretty sure most people already like exit out of this video now because they're like, why are they shitting so hard on FOE? I thought they actually, sort of liked it or wanted to be a little bit more critical about it. But no, let's actually talk about something a little bit more critically. The guns, right? So after Little Pip has her conversation with Watcher, Watcher does give her some good advice. He does say, you need to make some friends out here, or else no one's watching your back and you're just gonna get stabbed in the back, or if you're asleep, someone's just gonna blow your head off and take your stuff. Something that could have happened right then and there. Holy crap, tongue twister. But he tells her that advice, talks a little bit about it, and then, as per usual, uh, loses control of the Sprite Bot, and then he goes on his merry way. He, for some reason, right? She says to go to the library because there is a copy of the book, right? Of the Wasteland Survival Guide in the library. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
How does he know that?
Moira.
How does he know that?
Uh, well, I mean, uh, books, library.
But
I don't
but,
know.
but the library wasn't it like everything pre-war? Like how the hell does he know something after the war is in there?
Uh, I don't know. We saw fucking Derpy going there, or it's just a bad plot
Hmm.
hole that's in all these chapters.
So maybe, right? Instead of saying, "Hey, go get this book, the Wasteland Survival Guide," maybe he says instead, "Hey, someone or some pony rather in the library has a lot of knowledge about the wasteland. You might want to go over there and save them, and hopefully, you know, by saving this individual pony, because we don't need to know who it is. It doesn't need to say Derpy Hooves or anything like that. You can just say, save this character. Um, from there, we establish the first, line of support, whether they're a companion or they give him directions to, let's say, a weapons cache or some type of supply cache or whatever. That's pretty good. But I didn't like that when it was like, oh, go into the library because this one book that's in this entire library, and we've all seen, Twilight Spurgle's library and how big it is, how many books are in there. So we're not even gonna know where to even look for it. And that's also post-war, so God knows how much stuff's unorganized now. So she goes back and she starts to save some ponies because again, these are raiders. They capture ponies and they do horrible things to them. And from there, she gathers one more extra round of ammunition for her shotgun, right? And then she's like gets angry, right? She sees all these like captured mares. She gets angry. She's like, "Oh, like who would do this and this and that?" Which I don't know about you. I'm gonna be a little honest with you, Afterglow. I wouldn't be necessarily angry, but I would be more of like, "Huh, I don't want to get captured because I don't want to end up like them. Let me hurry the fuck up." Because if you get angry, right, your vision gets blurred. And when your vision gets blurred, bad things happen. So one thing leads to another. Some raiders come to see that she's freeing their slaves, and thus a fight ensues. So go ahead, Afterglow, take control of that fight and explain how wonderful that went.
Well, first off, I'd like to point out that we're only in chapter 3, and our lovely protagonist has been to Sweet Apple Acres, Carousel Boutique, and Golden Oak Library. It's pretty convenient. She's going to all the major locations that are recognizable from the show right off the bat. And also, we get to see the best and worst thing about this story. Earth ponies fire guns in their mouths, which would be impossible without shattering all your teeth or like choking on the gun when it kicks back or anything else. Like, how do you have enough force with your tongue to pull the trigger all the way back anyway?
These are
They really should have made Earth ponies like melee fighters because they're naturally strong, so they just run up and buck the shit out of you. But no, it's just give them guns.
yeah. No, you have a point there. I never understood that. So we either do two things here, right? We take your suggestion, which makes a lot of sense. We make these earth ponies resistant to, let's just say they're resistant to magic and they are resistant to, most small arms fire. And by small arms fire, I mean like, maybe some pistols and some SMGs and stuff, but rifles, enough shots can take them down. Like they just have in the show, right? They have a natural resistance because we've seen Applejack literally get knocked into the sky when Rainbow Dash is trying to do a trick, and then she falls down, God knows how many feet, and she gets up just fine. So obviously, the Earth ponies have some resilience. They're Earth ponies. They do those things. So let's incorporate those types of things into the fanfic, right? So we make them melee fighters, which again makes some sense. We can give them a lance, maybe we can give them like spiked shoes or something, or just trying to make something work. Maybe even like a horn. They're not a unicorn, so we give them a little horn so they can charge into an opponent or whatever. Battle saddles work, but what do you do when you run out of ammo? Do you wait for another pony to help you to resupply, or is there like a button where you can press and it releases the battle saddle so you get rid of that weight and you can like hopefully find another battle saddle that's fully loaded, or you just get out of the fight because there's nothing really you can do, like there's all these issues, right?
Well,
Uh-huh.
if you remember, battle saddles are like made at the very end of the war, like before everything blew up, so there really wouldn't be that many in supply, so they'd be super hard to find.
Hmm. Okay.
Like power armor.
Yeah. Hmm. That is a good point then. We would have to basically rewrite some of this lore, and I suppose the mouth gun thing. I just think we just gotta throw that out completely. It just doesn't make sense. I agree with you. Um, unless there's some type of like BS excuse, like i.e., oh, magic, the magic controls the recoil and this and that, so like it doesn't give you whiplash every time you take a shot. Uh, you know, I don't know how you can justify the mouth guns. I mean, if anyone wants to tell me, like by all means, go ahead and tell me in the comment section, or if you want to come in here and tell us yourself, go ahead. But it just doesn't make sense. It's like a human trying to cut stuff with their mouth or with their feet. Like maybe it could be done, but it's going to be really hard to do so. And again, going back to the
I already
recoil,
have another solution.
what is the other solution?
So say you just make like the trigger guard really big, and then Earth Ponies could like sit, and sure you'd be stuck in one spot. Then you could just like use your front here to like pull it. You hold it in your one up, and then like hold it sideways or some shit and shoot it with your other. It
Hmm.
would make more sense in the mouth.
Basically like a tripod in a way, huh? Like they sit on their haunches. They
Yeah,
have
you have to be
a
stationary.
yeah, and that makes sense. Basically a bunch of Earth Pony Tachankas. You know who Tachanka is, right?
No,
You
nerd.
don't know who Tachanka is? Only OGs know the original Tachanka. So, there is an operator in Rainbow Six Siege, goes a little bit way back because he got reworked so many damn fucking times. But his ability was that he was able to put down an LMG, right? And it was stationary because he would put it down in a really defensible position, at least in theory, right? And he would, thanks for the rework, he had a ballistic shield that would protect at least his upper body, right? And he would be able to use that turret basically to hold down an entire room. So you could do it like that. It makes sense. Like you can give him that does make sense. Basically the drawback is, right? They're not as mobile. It takes a little bit longer to set up the turret and tear it down. But the plus side is it's a really powerful gun. Maybe they only use LMGs. Maybe they only use like, some type of cannon or something like that. I'm not saying like a cannonball, but like, like those cannons on like, you
A
know,
grenade launcher.
yeah, yeah, like you know what I'm saying? So, that actually makes sense too. I like that. I like that. I never even thought about that. That's a good one. Huh.
This is off the top of my head, and I'm coming out with better solutions than pulling gun with teeth or tongue, whatever.
Yeah, and like that's another thing too, right? Like,
Right?
well, go ahead.
I mean, like, it's not creative at all. You have three different races, and you just have them all shoot guns. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but I feel like there should be pros and cons to each of the pony races, right? So Earth ponies, like we said, like they can use stronger weapons because they can, you know, they're able to carry these types of weapons and stuff like that. It's just that now their mobility has been drastically, taken from them, so they can't really move as much unless they have a battle saddle, or even making it, more interesting. They have like a firing team, like at least in the war. Maybe there are some groups that still use this, but during the war, and I think we talked about this before because kind of saying this from my own story I'm working on, but an Earth Pony has a very like strong weapon, again, a grenade launcher or, some twin 50 cals on each side, but they have a team with them. Maybe another Earth Pony or maybe like two unicorns that would carry their extra supplies, kind of like a in real life LMG team that the military often has. One guy has the gun, another guy carries all the ammo for him, and also like assists, with spotting and whatnot. So that could also be another solution there, and it would have more interesting writing, I think, because now instead of dealing with one Earth Pony on the battle saddle or whatever, now you have to deal with the entire team, and that in essence could lead to like mini boss fights. That the character has to go through because it's easy to take down one target when they are one on one against you, or maybe it's you and your companions against that one target. Just concentrated fire on the one target. But now let's just say, again, hypothetically, we're going against this mini boss that has, a firing team where there's one, extra pony that's like watching and guarding, and then there's possibly a unicorn that's giving, let's just say like a shield over this earth pony. So like you can't just shoot him in the head and it's over. Like you had to take out that unicorn or you had to take out that other thing. You kind of had to like, deal with it one by one by one. So yeah, I think it's just more interesting writing. Maybe I'm just being a little autistic and sprigging out over it, but I like that idea. So, yes.
Or you could have Earth ponies with half a brain cell, and then you could set up a group of like 3 or 4 and take turns shooting, and one has to reload. You could have the other one put suppressing fire since you have to sit still.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean it makes sense, and I mean we could give like Pegasus like a little bit more like lighter weapons, since if they are flying and using it, they can't really carry that much weight. It's gonna not be helpful. Or we just, basically give them a bunch of grenades to drop on the enemy or whatever. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. The only
Or
uh,
you could have Pegasus just lift people up into the air and drop them from like 50 feet. I don't think they're going to be able to do much.
well, yeah, I mean, you could do that too. Like you have like a power lances on each side, and it impales them, and then they just do a little spin move and lets them go 100 feet back on the ground. So that'll definitely hurt. It's just the drawback there is that they have to get low, so it's a bit easier to shoot them. So yeah, there you go. There's your pros and cons. Makes the writing a little bit more interesting. I think the only ponies that should have elegant weapons that take a lot of dexterity and such are going to have to be the unicorns. It just makes sense doing that. Like they're going to be the ones that are going to control, you know, rifles. They're going to have more control over sniper rifles. Um, Even like more elegant, like let's just say like powered weapons. They get like a power sword. They get like a power axe or something like that. Yeah, the earth ponies they can definitely hold their own. You know, and use like a power lance or just use their just brute strength. But in terms of like a sword or an axe or something like that, maybe we only give it to like the unicorns or something like that. So I mean, it's just our 2 cents here. You don't have to like dive into it too much, but we're just talking about the weapons because weapons become very, very, common once this chapter is over. And is Afterglow here, or did he mute himself? He probably muted himself. Oh, I guess I'll just keep going until he unmutes. So once we get into that fight, uh, we see little Pip actually use something different than a gun or something. And I think this is one of the few times that she actually does it. She gathers a bunch of kitchen knives and starts throwing it at the raiders. And after that, again, little skirmishes ensue. We finally go up to the room in which we see another character introduced purely for fan service, I do believe. Grammar. And we meet Derpy Hooves, or as the story calls it, Ditsy Doo. So Ditsy Doo is a ghoul pony. We meet a ghoul pony really early. Um, Most games we don't really meet ghouls until mid to end game, unless you're playing Fallout 4 or the newer Fallout installments. I think even all the way in like New Vegas, if you explore a little too much, hey, well, there's nothingness. You do run into feral ghouls, but the first 2 games at least, you don't really see ghouls really early on. So a little interesting how they did that. And afterwards, we find out that she can't speak because unfortunately she had her tongue taken from her. So a little bit of that right there. She clears out the library, and from there, she dons on some raider armor because unfortunately that's all that's around that she can use. And she licks her wounds a little bit because she did get wounded in the fight. And it kind of goes off and starts this weird like scarcity on supplies and such. Now, early in the game, of course, you're not always going to have the most supplies. It depends on your perks and traits you often take, at least in the first 2 games. what you start off with and whatnot. Fallout 4 is one that I played recently, so it's still fresh on my mind compared to the other titles. I know if you you know go around the vaults, you will find plenty of supplies compared to the other games, where you find like I want to say like 10 stim packs. You find a lot of ammunition for your 10 millimeter pistol. You find a police baton. So you find a lot of like good stuff right off the bat. I want to say in New Vegas too. If you explore Doc Mitchell's house as well as just the settlement you start off with right then and there, you're gonna find a lot of good stuff there too. Um, it's just, you know, I don't know where I was really going with that. I wish Africa was back, but he's still muted. But yeah, there's this weird scarcity of supplies that starts off right there.
It's you
No, no,
fed.
no. Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. So this part that we're gonna talk right now, real fucking quick, right? Is just a quick. We're gonna fix this
We
right
are
now.
not
We're doing
doing
it
it
live.
all
We're
again.
doing it live. No, no, no. We're literally
We
doing
are
it
not
live.
doing.
We're literally doing it live. Like everything else was fine until the end of the part of the library. There you go. So, our main host here, Enclave, has a little early onset dementia because I didn't remember how Chapter 3 ended. I could have sworn that Chapter 3 ended in a totally different way, but it didn't. It didn't at all. So, everything from the point of rescuing Derpy, or Ditsy Doo, however you want to say, um, is correct. Everything afterwards, well, gotta change a little bit. So, what
I
happened?
have more to say about Derpy.
We will say something about Derpy real quick. But basically, actually, say something about Derpy now. Because after that, it's literally the end of the chapter. And there you go. I could just
I
wrap it up.
just think it's funny that like one of the most fan favorite characters, especially at the time. 'Cause I don't know if this was on like the Derpy Gate or where the fuck we call it now was happening, but they make Derpy like a fucking disgusting ghoul that has no tongue. It's kind of fucked up. Can't believe people like this. So yeah, pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, that was a
I'd
time.
still fuck her though.
Oh, no. Uh, you have a point there. I think you have a point. Well, everything else was pretty much okay, except like I said towards the other part. So it's all right. I'll just splice these two edits together. Chapter ends differently. Basically, we pick up from chapter 2, where the emergency message was coming from. The emergency message, holy crap, English. So the emergency message was set on repeat. Basically, a parent and their cult, right, were exploring, and I guess the cult took a bite out of the radioactive apples that were still around, or the stable was, because again, little Pip, she comes out, she sees like all these like trees and whatnot, and that's it. She gets a message saying that, hey, in Ponyville, where the old memorial is, the I need help, this and that. She goes and she finds that the memorial where there's water around, there's a bunch of fucking radigators. And once again, we have another little fan service here, right? Little fan service. One of the radiators that tries to take a bite at a little Pip, right? Doesn't have any teeth.
Uh-huh.
So, hmm.
God damn it! I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, yeah,
Fucking
like
stupid.
yeah. So it's either chapter 3, because I'm starting to remember it again. So it's either chapter 3 or the beginning of chapter 4 where she mentions like, oh, one of the radigators doesn't have any teeth, and I was like, why would they say? And I'm like, wait, no teeth, no teeth means you just have gums, and I'm like, oh, gummy, yes, yes, I remember the pet of Pinkie Pie. So
How was he
yeah,
in Ponyville?
he got introduced with a bunch of you know, rads and became big.
Yeah, sure, why not? Why
So
wouldn't he
he,
grow teeth ever, though? I thought the whole point of him not having teeth is that he's a baby alligator. He would have grown up by 200 years.
I mean, I don't know, man. You tell me. But
Bad writing.
that's pretty much it. I mean, she loses the weapon. She dives into the little what is it? I wouldn't call it like a cellar, but like a bunker, I guess. For whatever reason, was conveniently made near the memorial or under the memorial. Closes his door, and you know, she just reflects upon the day. You know, having to deal with the conditions that she woke up in, the disgusting, carousel boutique, and then seeing all the raiders and seeing the ponies in cages and all that horrible stuff. You know, she makes a mention that the cult skeleton was on the bed below her, and then the skeleton of the parent, which was the father, was by the door. So, she takes a drink out
Oh,
of her.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, environmental storytelling.
Me, when I see the bombs dropping, I run to my bathroom to be an environmental skeleton.
Yes. Hell yeah. Just gonna stand next to my desk like with the pencil and paper there. I'm like, I wonder what they wrote there. But yeah, there you go. Some environmental storytelling. And then yeah, that's pretty much it, Uh she dropped her stupid gun that she got from the library and she begins to read. So, Guns and Bullets and the Equestrian Wasteland. So, the Survival Guide by Ditzy Do, which is interesting because it says that the book is there and she reads it, and as you say, uh, after every end of the chapter, it says level up, and right there it says new perk, bookworm. You pay much closer attention to the smaller details when reading. You gain 50% more skill points when reading books. So that's the end of chapter 3. My mistake. I completely misremembered. I was remembering the ending of chapter 4. So after all was said and
Another
done,
useless ass perk.
you really think that was useless? The chapter?
It's a no, I mean the perk is another useless perk in games. How often do you find skill books instead of skill mags?
Well, it was different before, remember? Because in New Vegas, the magazines would temporarily put your stats up. But in the original two Fallouts, if you would read, it actually takes a lot of time out of your day. So like that's why that happens.
All right, still lame.
Yeah. So I mean it's just a little thing there. I mean I don't know. Like you're right. I think it's just Nicholas Tesla and you Chinese infiltration book. There's probably another book. I just forget what it's called. But yeah, you're right. There's not many in like Fallout 3 and New Vegas that like actually permanently boost your stats. Not as much as before. But yeah, uh,
Yeah, but
go ahead. What do you think about the
I'm
chapter,
gonna
Afterglow?
I'm gonna I'm gonna go on a limb and say KCAT only played 3 and at best skimmed the wiki pages for 1 and 2 to get quote unquote inspiration.
Hmm.
Because there is way too much Fallout 3 in this story. Just like Moira can be a ghoul when she writes the Wasteland Survival Guide, so they made the one that read in the story a ghoul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas came out around that time, right? Like
I mean,
the
yeah, but they didn't play New Vegas till later. and then they started stealing stuff from that. You can tell when it happened.
Yeah, cause Fallout 3 was 2008, and then Fallout New Vegas was
October 10th, 2010.
damn.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
that's kind of creepy because they both came out in the same time. Then, huh? Fucking wild. Yeah, I just
Yeah. I cannot believe that was 12,000 words for billion. Or how many
yeah.
words that chapter was.
That chapter was. Does it say the words? Does it say the words on top of the chapter? Or nah, not anymore. I don't remember.
Does if you go to the main page.
Okay, real quick. Let's go back and it's
7,000.
7,000.
I overestimated 7,000 words. So,
Yeah, 7,251 words, right? Yeah,
yep.
7,251 words. It's not it's not too bad, but I mean,
Yeah, imagine reading a Fallout Equestria fanfic doesn't have chapters that are 40,000 words on average.
I mean the thing is, I keep saying that, but yeah, it's just interesting how early on the chapters are rather short. It isn't until we get past chapter 22 where it's consistently double digits, and we don't get another short chapter until 35. And then we have this huge ass chapter of 37, which, most chapters don't really break the 15K mark. Some of them close to 16 to 19K. But this massive chapter we get of chapter 37 jumps from 51,539 words. So that's just interesting writing that I noticed. This little side note, I mean, it's not so much as regarding, chapter 3 exclusively, but yeah.
As a Project Horizons fanboy, I laugh.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna get hit with like large fucking chunky ass chapters when you're doing Project Horizons. It's fucking wild. Pink Guys, which is also popular, and then Murky Number Seven, pretty short comparative
You
to
mean
like
Mamba number 9?
it says Murky Number Seven.
Mamba number 9?
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you said Mambo Mod number 9. I'm like, huh? I mean, it's a little shorter than Project Horizons, but it's still 1.1 million words. So I mean, you like that, go ahead.
No.
But yeah, you're right. Chapter 1 right off the bat, 23,000 fucking words. So, there's your first chapter for Project Horizons. Go have fun with that.
And that's like the shortest one.
Dude, and it's crazy how I just went on the page of Project Horizons, and somebody actually translated the story into Spanish. Holy shit. I
Yeah,
didn't I
yeah,
didn't notice
fucking
that.
right. Yeah, we're fucking right. They use Google Translate or like AI translation. Come on, there's no way it's really that fine.
Uh, on a side note, I'm gonna click this real quick and see. Let's see, because I can read Spanish. Remember, I'm a Spaniard. Let's see.
Now tell me how much is terrible grammar. It makes no sense. Hey, look, I'm on the ML podcast. Dead air, host. Speak out, speak.
Fuck you.
Cut that out.
Oh my god. Actually, from like the first like couple of uh couple of paragraphs I'm reading, it's I can understand it. It's not the Oh my god. I like it how I scroll down a little bit and all I see is sexo. Sexo oral, eh? ¿Qué les la-" That's the
Yeah, it's
part. That,
typical blackjack thoughts.
yeah, that's the fucking part where she's talking about midnight, trying to get some oral sex out of her. Fucking wild. Oh my god. The only problem I see right here is that if I scroll all the way fucking down, the formatting is kind of fucky. But I mean, from going all around, I'm just jumping back and forth. I can understand this if as a Spanish speaker.
Imagine being such an autist you know how to add properly format on fanfic.
Well, it's not properly formatted. I mean, look, okay, like I understand. I'm gonna link it to you, right? But like, just I know you don't understand Spanish, but look at the fucking formatting. This is awful. This is like worse than a Google Doc.
I've seen some bad. Oh, this is on DeviantArt, bro. Why didn't you just make it on
Yeah.
fanfic? Like, why is it on DeviantArt?
I have no clue.
There are literally no breaks at all. Period.
Yeah, that's
There's no
why the
like. There's
formatting
there's
is
no
is
indenting,
the formatting is awful.
bro. Shift Enter is your friend.
I'm just surprised that this guy did all this work because it looks like they went all the way. It looks like they. It looks like they did all the 77 chapters, right? How many chapters are there in the Project Horizons?
77.
Holy shit!
77.
This is
He finished
just,
it.
dude. This is just so much work for sadly only 1,000.2 views. That's sad. There's only 10 favorites. Ouch.
Counterpoint. Learn English.
Counterpoint in English. Well, I mean,
Now
they
I
they
could translate it back to English and read it like that with terrible formatting.
Oh my
I just
god. I'm
I just
clicking
want to
on.
Google Translate product rises like 5 times in a bunch of different languages.
Hey, you know what? This guy is still active, unlike some people in the fandom. He wrote a story about America losing their F-35. Oh man. Okay.
Classic shit.
Oh, but that's pretty funny. Well, shout out to Spaniard Kiwi. He fucking straight up translated that shit. Wasn't wait, but like didn't someone also translate um the original Fallout Equestria into Russian? Like that's why it's really popular over there. If we're talking
Yeah, it
about
was probably the
translation and shit.
Ministry of Image
Okay.
because
I
Ministry of Image is Russian, so it's
mm,
probably them.
well, any last words or that's just some interesting outro facts that we just spoke upon.
Hey, does anybody have tickets to Russia so don't have to pay $500 to ship Project Horizons there from there?
You know what? I think we talked about in the the last or second to last hobby horse you were talking about the Ministry of Image and like why they haven't like updated their fucking book stuff. I want to see if they I want to see if they updated anything because last time they were missing a lot of the Fallout Equestria
They
stuff.
probably don't even have anything in stock right now.
Oh yeah, because of the war and shit.
Also, like the second a new stock becomes available, people buy it up like day one.
Okay, I can't tell if
For the
it's
finale of this whatever we call it project or whatever, I will physically buy Fallout Equestria just to burn it on camera.
yeah, okay. You're about to fucking spend $225. It's
Yes,
still out
it's
of
not about the
stock.
money; it's about sending a message.
It's still out of stock. It's still out of stock. From
Is the
all
Ministry of
the,
Image even alive anymore?
I don't know, but like okay, look. Because I bought my special edition hardback from the last BronyCon, literally the last BronyCon, and that costed me $90. But
Costed you?
grammar, I'm sorry. I'm an ESL speaker. You should know this by now. Special
I speak fluent retard.
edition. Special edition FOE is actually $150. Holy crap.
You should see how much it is to order all the Project Horizons, including shipping. The shipping alone is like $300. It's like
Ye-
$7.
yeah, it doesn't tell me the shipping because it's like it says out of stock, but I believe you because a lot of people are complaining about that constantly in the threads. That's why it's just a word of advice for any people that try to get these like Fallout Equestria books. Try and get them at a con if you can, or if you know anybody that's going to a big convention, like let's say BabsCon or Ciderfest or even just like Winnie City, they normally have Fallout Equestria stuff on sale by the vendors. So just tell your homie, hey, can you buy me this book if you see it? And then from there, just bam. So that's all I
I
got.
don't really. I might not like cake that much, but I sure fucking hope Ministry of Movies pays them every time they sell one book.
I thought no one makes money off of this. I thought this was just like you're only buying it for the book itself.
Then where's the money going? The charity?
I thought you said that the first fucking chapter. You said the money goes to charity.
No, that's for the audiobook. I mean, when you buy the physical book from Ministry of Movies.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be kind of fucked up if it doesn't. They're making bank. There's no
Well,
way those books cost as much as they
you okay,
charge.
okay, okay, but you can't sell any books because it's an IP that they have no right over.
What do you mean they can't sell them? They are selling them occasionally.
Talking about like the actual FOE stuff because if you try to sell something that has pony images that look like the ones from the show, you're gonna get sued by fucking Hasbro.
Well, they don't care about Ministry of Image.
Well, I mean, they're in Russia, and Russia has different copyright laws, kind of like China. Like China doesn't give a shit. American
Oh
company
yeah,
tries
fair
to
enough.
sue. American company tries to sue a Chinese company. Just this doesn't work.
That's
Maybe the
why
same thing
Russia's
with
the
Russia.
piracy center of the world. Wow, we divulged really hard at this one.
We definitely went off the rail for this. I mean, it's fine because I'm gonna edit out at least like 20 minutes of my stupid, solo hosting because you weren't alive.
Fuck.
So it evens out because this whole thing's gonna be about just like shy of an hour.
And it's the least in this chapter we've had the least to say about.
Yeah, I mean, we went off of theories and stuff like that, which I appreciate because that gives other people, you know, things to write about instead of using these poor tactics that I will stand by and argue with anyone else that enjoys other stories like of this nature. Um, and yeah, it gives other people that want a little bit more originality, like a chance to do something different.
Yeah, and I hate to break it to you, but I'm getting more memories of this story coming back, and I'm pretty sure that was in picture like chapter 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go look at that real quick right now. I mean, I'm sure once Velvet Remedy gets brought up, we're just gonna go on a freaking hate-filled just rant
What's
about
that
it.
accent? Velvet
Yeah,
sneezes. Oh my god, he needs to kill herself.
it's chapter 7 actually because the actual chapter is called Velvet Remedy.
Classic. Man,
Eh,
Calamity could get so much better puss.
well, I mean, he obviously didn't. He prefers unicorns.
I would much rather fuck Little Pip over Velvet. Come on, bro.
Oh my lord.
What? Correction is hot. Sue
Oh
me.
my god.
That fucking
Oh,
Shino comic that took 20 years to make was totally worth it.
yeah, totally worth it, guys. He's gonna be there. Don't.
He makes things faster than you do.
Oh my. All right. Well, I think that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining us. Um, we hope to see you guys on the next one, and hopefully I won't go on a tirade of the completely wrong chapter next time. So I was your host, Enclave, and I was joined by my other host, Afterglow. You want to say anything, Afterglow, or are you gonna mute yourself for another 15 minutes?
God, Blackjack is so hot.
Man, if we ever finish this Project Horizons, I feel like we could do like a video on, but I don't think I can do like a bunch of miniature videos. I think we have to just sit down and just divide it into like 3 or 4 parts and just sit down for like 2 or 3 hours and discuss, this
Mm,
half and then that part and this part.
Bro, for real, I've been reading Project Horizons for like 2 years. And I'm only halfway through. So by the time we finish this, I
Uh,
still might not be done.
oh, you're gonna have to give me a big old TLDR.
You have to finish it too if we're gonna talk about it. What do you mean?
No, okay, look. It's going real quick, and then I'll fucking end this. I actually knew people from way back in the day with the iPod Touch first gen that would take screen caps of Project Horizon and read it at school, and it took them, like you said, about a year and a half to finish it. But imagine having to do that. Anyways, everyone have a good morning, a good afternoon, and a good night. Thank you for listening to our rambling, and yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.
Man.